I'm more worried about Eric. Kind of in the spirit of methodology, I'm just going to kind of start with a methodology approach. Tell everybody kind of what we did, where it began, what we were shooting for, and then talk about what happened this fall semester to get us where we are, and what happened this semester to get us where they are, which should be a setup for these fine folks to talk about the kind of specialized activities they went through this semester. In order for me to keep it short, because you all know me, if I don't have this, I'll ramble. So I have about 3 to 4 minutes of worth of stuff to say. I'm just going to read it from here. The experiment was simple. Take a group of faculty, some of whom had already jumped into mobile computing on their own and some who were itching to see what it was all about. Give those faculty state-of-the-art devices and give them a year to figure out how to integrate them into their teaching and professional lives. We also included some key staff members in this initiative, people from IT and from SUU TV, to help support the effort in some various ways. Documentation was critical to us in what we were trying to do because it was a new effort. In the fall semester, we distributed the devices, asked faculty members to set up the devices as they wanted. Many of them took a baseline device, and some of the early adopters decided to even beef up the memory or to add 3G connections to theirs based on the type of device they thought they would use and the way that they would use it. We met a few times and we set up an electronic community in Google Plus so that we could share knowledge and information because we knew that we would get busy and that working synchronously would be difficult. Each faculty member also chose a course that they wanted to use to feature their iPad efforts. We had a little bit of budget after we got through all of that, and we were able to add a few Apple TV devices into selected classrooms. We'll talk a little bit, Brandon will talk a little bit more about what an Apple TV is, if that's strange language to you. Bring those into selected classrooms to accommodate wireless presentation and screen mirroring in the classrooms. It's actually going on right now. Then this spring, we met at regular intervals and used the Google Plus group to extensively as we implemented our plans for this group that we were calling the iPadagogy group. Lee Byers videotaped some of our initial thoughts and feelings, and he's videotaping now, and he's going to cut that together into kind of a documentary of what our process was so that we can share that a little bit widely with administrators and with folks at other schools who are interested in implementing programs like ours. As you can imagine, things didn't work perfectly. Nothing ever does when you're implementing a new technology, but that was one of the baseline principles of what we were doing. We wanted, in addition to kind of chart our successes, we wanted to record our failures so that we could use them as a knowledge base for people who would be coming in later and for more wide-scale implementation. Sometimes I think in adopting a new technology, we get a little nervous about making it perfect. And anybody who's done it knows that it just never is. So one of the other new things that we did was to embed IT folks into our process so that we would have people that knew what we were doing, could offer kind of up-to-the-minute support right as we had it. And then early in the semester, we decided that we wanted to have each of the faculty members kind of pick an area of expertise, something very specific, a specific problem they wanted to solve in their teaching, or a specific use of applications that they wanted to undertake and explore, and that's what they're going to be sharing with you today. My focus as the SU Creativity Center Director was to not look so much at the pedagogical stuff, but to look at personal productivity and creativity, how you might be able to create workflows between the desktop computer, the cloud, and these devices. And so that's one of the reasons I'm not going to present directly today. I was focusing on other things. And if you were around during the Festival of Excellence, I did a little stunt with iPads and sound cues at the Festival of Excellence presentation to kind of augment a traditional fiction reading with some audio. So I've already done a thing on the side, which we can talk about a little bit more later. I don't want to offer any conclusions about what's happened with the program because we're excited that it's going to continue. I think that they can offer their individual conclusions and those will be more useful I will say that for me and for the faculty in our program, it's safe to say that iPads have become an indispensable tool, which have added, dare I say, a little joy to our work. We talked a lot about how much fun we were having. And if you've ever hung around with faculty, you don't often catch that conversation. My job is fun because blank. And so that alone seems to be a real benefit to what we were trying to undertake. I see a lot of potential for their use, and by and large, people are interested in continuing to explore their implementation and use on campus. We have a full waiting list of faculty interested in participating in our second round. Bill, you're on it, and a couple of other people who are interested in being involved. And so because it's budget contingent, we're waiting for the full cash on the barrelhead portion of what the provost is going to do. He likes what we're doing. He wants to see it continue, and so we're hoping that this time next year we'll have the round 2. At the end, this group, though, is not released. They're actually going to move on to higher functions, and they will be functioning as trainers out in their own colleges and departments, sharing information about what they've done and what they know. And each successive group is going to kind of move from this position that they're in into kind of a more training thing. We're not even going to get disinterested purple shirt to come in now that he's not the faculty center director, because he's still an iPadagogue.
You done?
Yes.